Dear friends, welcome to I.E.L.T.S and TOEFL Training Center. Here, I.E.L.T.S and TOEFL Writing and Speaking Task. The essay taken from Lingua Forum, Dream Tech Publications, video number 21. In writing task, as we have seen in academic and in general. Academic, of course, you have a graphic data representation which you have to write. And in task 2, you get an essay like this in general. First it may be letter writing, and second task may be of this agree or disagree questions. And in speaking task, you get a question like this and they ask you to speak on this topic, to speak to 1 or 2 minutes. So here we are giving training to our I.E.L.T.S and TOEFL students how to practice, how to speak, how to write. So here the topic here is agree or disagree question. Many people think one should never make a big decision by oneself. So many people think that one should never make a big decision. Mind you, small decisions, okay, you can take. For example, going to a hotel, eating some food, okay, buying a dress, fine. But a big decision like buying a house, a big decision by starting a business, then you have to consult with others. Do you agree or disagree? Use specific examples and reasons to explain your answer. No, one should think and decide on oneself. Then you have to write on that topic. No. Everybody, as many people as possible, you have to consult and decide and take decisions, which is very important. Decisions should be consulted and decisions should be taken. So, if you're for that, you can take that topic and you can go for illustrating with examples. Nowadays, a single man taking a decision on basis of government, you call him as a dictator. In a democratic government, what happened in a democracy? You see the elected representatives of people, MPs and MLAs, they sit together and the decision is forwarded, and with the voice vote and the vote by ballot, you select, okay, this decision is being approved. So in a democracy, it is a collective decision of the people, but in a dictatorship or in an autocratic rule, it is the one single man's thought is implemented either forcefully or or it is taken as a, it depends upon the people. If they accept the king, they accept that whatever he says. So here, ultimately, one must make important decisions for oneself. Ultimately, finally, one should take decisions for oneself. Just as there is strength in numbers, however, there is also a certain security in multiple sources of counsel. Counsel means what? Getting advices. So it's always better to go for a counsel. Counsel means getting the advices and ideas of others. Listening to 10 different opinions. You are putting forward a decision. You are putting forward an idea. So nearly 10 different opinions are coming from different sources. Either from your relation or friend or father or mother or your sibling, anybody. So nearly 10 different opinions instead of merely one's own increases the probability that one or more of these opinions will be right. So, one man taking a decision, one idea, you consult and counsel with others or 10 of them, and 10 people, different people will give 10 different ideas. You may think that idea is superior to your idea, or your idea is superior to their idea. So according to that, you can take 1 or 2 ideas, and finally you can come and decide and take one single idea. So it's always better that you go for a counseling, meet a lot of people, gather information about that particular topic and take a decision. So here he says, no, big decision should not be made by oneself. He has to consult with others. So this is what the statement for. He's saying, here's a hypothetical example. So you imagine an example here. Imagine you have a large sum of money. You have around 1 crore or 2 crores of money, man, to invest in a business. 1 crore or 2 crore your dad gives. You have the money. So what would you do? Would you trust your own judgment entirely in investing it? You have 2 crores. Will you decide on your own? Let me invest the money on that. Probably you would not Generally you won't, isn't it? 1, 2 crores or 3 crores they are giving. What you do? Instead, you would seek advice from a professional financial advisor. You ask a nice businessman or a consultant or a professional businessman, you ask him, what shall we do with the money? How can I double the money? How can I triple the money? How can I can safeguard my money? How can I invest the money? In what are the ways? Is it land or gold or business or shares? So you'll be consulting others, or perhaps several such advisors, and even a lawyer. Even a lawyer, you may say, I have 5 crores, okay, something happened to me. Who should be my lawful person who takes my property? Something happens to me. Suppose if I meet with an accident and die. So who will be taking in charge of my asset and money? So some decisions may require input from many sources. So some decisions you have to get information from many sources. A person contemplating means thinking whether or not to undergo hazardous surgery. Hazardous means very dangerous. Surgery, it's an operation. So when operation is there, someone doctor says you have to do one serious operation. So here, for a life-threatening condition, your life is threatened. If you do the operation, you may live or die. So life-threatening condition will need to consult family. So a doctor says, okay, dangerous operation is there, so we are going to do it. What he takes, immediately will he agree? He goes to his family, he goes to his doctors, and even he consults a lawyer. Something happens to me, what shall I do? So he meets the doctors, other doctors also. This doctor is saying me to do their kidney operation. It may endanger my life, I may die. So who will be my next, whom should I write the will of my property? And he also consults other doctors, he consults his family members, what to do. Because the decision may be literally a matter of life and death. The matter is life and death. Anything may happen to me. I may die, I may live. So finally, so first he says as an example of money, if you get around 1 or 5 crores, what do you do? Won't you consult with a professional businessman, professional financial advisors, where to invest the money? In the same way, second example, he says, suppose a health problem happens. So one doctor says, seriously, you have to be surgically, certain things has to be removed from the body. It is endangering your life, that operation. So won't you consult your family members? Won't you consult other doctors? Won't you consult your lawyer? So finally he comes to a conclusion. This doesn't mean that all the advice one receives should or even can be followed. Doesn't mean that. You ask 10 of them, 10 different people will give 10 different ideas. It is not necessary that you have to accept all the 10 different ideas, but you can always, some advice can be rejected. Some may advise something, you can reject their advices at once as impractical. You can say it is impractical, I am not going to do that. If one is advised to invest in diamond mines on the moon, one gentleman comes, okay, we are going to start diamond, lot of diamond is there in the mines, in the moon, lot of diamonds are there. So we are going to start a mine there, get diamonds. We plan to import it to India and sell. And please give me your 5 crores. Will you invest the money? For example, it is safe to ignore that recommendation. You just leave away the recommendation. As a rule, however, the more advice, the better. Still, the more the advice you get is better. Some advices are not practical, so just leave it away. So in Parliament, you see consultations, you see decisions, ideas put forward, everybody are consulting, and only if you have a majority of the people over there accepts that idea, becomes a practical, and it is put forward in the Gazette of India. In Legislative Assembly, one idea is put forward by one minister. It has to be what is that, sanctioned. It has to be approved by the Assembly. United Nations organization also there. If they want to put some ideas, 191 countries are there. So any country want to put forward the views, and it has to be rectified by others and approved, and only then it becomes a law, and still Security Council, 5 nations are there. So each nation has to give some opinions, and by law they have a veto power. So lot many things are there. So single man taking a decision for ordinary things, it is fine and okay, but when it involves some big decisions, then you have to consult with others. That's what the speaker says. But you can go against this also. You can see the history. Almost entire Germans, all the invasions and war, it has happened from the one man's mind. Who's that? Mr. Hitler, isn't it? And the India's freedom, of course, many have struggled, but all the way and path was put forward by Mahatma Gandhi. Then you find, the scientist, they cannot go in for a group, he cannot consult, he always goes and sticks one to one. And he finds, a scientist finds, creates something. You can find in the inventions, Graham Bell and Einstein and Thomas Alva Edison, lot many people. So they take a decision on their own. They find this is the right, and they go move on, and they are able to contribute. So my dear friends, now this is the topic. Let us say our IELTS IELTS people who are going to take examination. I ask one by one, what do you think about this topic? And if you get a topic like this, how you are going to write and how you are going to speak? Yes.
Good morning. I agree with this point that no one should take a big decision, because even if it's simple decision means anyone can take, because he can tolerate them. He can manage whether it will success or it will failure. But if a big decision means it affect our whole family or a society or a whole country, so it damage the whole health also. So we have constitutions, then we have parliament members, cabinet members to make big decisions. For example, emergency proclamation like national emergency, state emergency, financial emergency, and misbehavior of Supreme Court judges, and impeachment of president. Likewise, we want some people, important representatives of people opinion to take on big decisions. Likewise, many scientists, many noble persons, also they take the individual decision, and they successful with that. But the successful or a failure, whether he can tolerate or tolerate by himself, means he can take big decision. Otherwise, it affects the whole country or it affects the whole society, means you must get opinion from others, those who got more experienced, more knowledge, more technicians. Likewise, for example, if we send mission to space, means we must get some technician opinion according to climate change, weather conditions, atmospheric pressure. Likewise, so some decision must have opinion from the technicians and more experienced persons, and those who have more knowledge, etc. Even our Prime Minister and President also some advisor. We have PMO office, and we have a cabinet members to take some important decisions. So we get opinion from others to get to make a big decision is good. Thank you.
Good. You have gone in for various government decisions. I request you, gentlemen, to come forward.
Hello, good morning everyone. I am going to discuss the topic. Some people tell the big decision are not now make by oneself. I'm going to this topic with my opinion, my own experience, because I used to work in a big ISO company but at that time I decided to start a business. In that time, my father advised me it is not a correct time to start a business, but I neglected that advice. And I decided to start business. And I don't think any source and what is the exact place of the business, what is the source of the business, and what is other implements of the business. My decision is only one for myself. Uh, After some years, my experience, I conclude with that decision is very wrong, because I can't understand any outer social affected for beginners of business starting people. Uh, Otherwise, I am going to the youngster people's desired more decision without any consultation of any elder people. Uh, for example, a young lady or a young boy decide to commit their marriage. After some years, after that marriage, that decision is going to spoil, because they faced many problems in society. Otherwise, in nationally, every executive sectors and administrative sectors have some committees and advisors. They all follow the committee's advice and consult others after they make a big decisions. We find out any sector and any industrial factory also, the MD cannot decision make himself. He have consider and consult any other peoples and manager, even though technicians also he consult, and after he get a good decision for that business improvement. So in the world wise also, countries leaders also consult to other peoples for the important decision. So I conclude with for the simple person, decision is not good for everything. Everyone take a good big decision. He should consult with others and discussion, find out the good ideas. After he apply that. Thank you.
It should be quite fast, sir. Speed and the pace should be good. Okay, I request Miss Dakshana to come forward.
Good morning, friends. My name is Darshana. I disagree with this statement, because whatever the decision we take, it should be ours. And we can ask the opinions and advices from others, but the final decision, it should be ours only. That's my point of view. And also, in my view, it's whatever the decisions we take, it always depends upon our attitude, our mentality, our personality. Never go for others' decisions. Only their advices we can ask, their advices and also their opinions. And also, I conclude that only our decision should be good.
Good. Yes, Mr. Why don't you come? You come.
going to against this topic. One main decision is the final decision, final destination. Sorry, sir.
You.
I don't know how many studied about the Ronak Taken poem. That poem said there are two roads are there. First road has taken by all people, but second road has not taken by others. Then in that conclusion of the poem, how do you select that road? How do you select our decision? In the first road, already many people are there. Many people are chosen by first road. But in that poem, we will not take the first road. We will take the different way. We will take the second road. We will something different. So decision is ours. We will whatever decision, big or small, we will decision by oneself. For example, today lot of engineers are in our country. Those are they are not get the job because the lot of people are took the same engineering courses. So in the next year, in the coming years, we will not take the same way and the same decisions. So we will take something different. Lot of examples are there in young age. In my young age, we are lot of youngsters to make the decision by oneself. So it's a best one. If we can choose any one decision, lot of mistakes are made by them. So each and every mistake will have learned some knowledge and learn some lessons. So it's a big one. This is a big one. So in my point of view, single decision is the best. Mingle decision is the worst.
Okay, what's your name? Nirmal Jones, your performance is all right. You have just shown an improvement. Only thing you are pausing and breaking the sentence. There's no continuous flow of words. All right, that you have to practice. Your voice is good. Of course, you are logically arguing, but the problem here is, the continuation of the flow of words is not there. You're always pausing and breaking the sentences. Good. Please sit down. IELTS and TOEFL class vandirikkirom. IELTS International English Level Testing System, TOEFL Test on English as Foreign Language. இது ரைட்டிங் எழுதுவதும் பேசுவதும் இந்த கட்டுரைகளின் தொகுப்பு லிங்குவா ஃபாரம் ட்ரீம் டெக் என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய அச்சகத்தின் மூலமாக வீடியோ 21 ஏற்றுக்கொள்வாயா ஏற்றுக்கொள்ள மாட்டாயா கேள்வி தலைப்பு many people think one should never make a big decision all by oneself. அநேகம் பேர் சொல்லிக் கொள்கிறார்கள் ஒருவர் தானாக ஒரு முடிவை எடுக்கக்கூடாது, ஆனால் பல பேரை கலந்து ஆலோசித்துத்தான் ஒரு பெரிய முடிவை எடுக்க வேண்டும். Do you agree? ஏற்றுக்கொள்வாயா? Disagree? ஏற்றுக்கொள்ள மாட்டாயா? Use specific examples, குறிப்பிட்ட உதாரணங்கள் and reasons to explain your answers. காரண கர்த்தாக்களையும் நீ எழுத வேண்டும். அப்போ ஒரு முடிவெடுக்கும் பொழுது, பெரிய முடிவெடுக்கும் பொழுது, வாழ்க்கையில் திருப்பங்கள் உருவாக்கக்கூடிய முடிவெடுக்கும் பொழுது, மற்றவர்களுடைய வாழ்க்கையும் பாதிக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு முடிவெடுக்கும் பொழுது மற்றவர்களை கலந்து ஆலோசிக்க வேண்டுமா, இல்லை நீயாக முடிவை எடுத்துக்கொள்ள வேண்டுமா? இதுதான் தலைப்பே. உதாரணத்திற்கு இந்த கட்டுரை ultimately முடிவாக one must make important decisions for oneself. ஒருவன் தனக்குத்தானே ஒரு முடிவை எடுத்துக்கொள்ள வேண்டும். Just as there is strength in numbers, however there is also a certain security in multiple sources of counsel. Counsel என்றால் என்ன? அறிவுரை, கவுன்சிலிங் என்று சொல்வார்கள். தானாகத்தான் முடிவு எடுத்துக்கொள்ள வேண்டும், ஆனாலும் கவுன்சிலிங் என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய மற்றவர்களிடமிருந்து கலந்து ஆலோசிக்கும் பொழுது அதன் மூலமாக முடிவெடுப்பது நல்லது என்று சொல்கிறார். லிஸ்னிங் டு 10 different opinions. ஒரு எண்ணம் உனக்கு தோன்றுகிறதே ஒன்று செய்வதற்கு, 10 பேரிடம் கேட்கும் பொழுதே 10 விதமான எண்ணங்களை அவர்கள் வெளிப்படுத்துவார்கள். Instead of merely one zone increases the probability that one or more of these opinions will be right. நீயாக ஒரு எண்ணத்தை செயலாக்குவதற்கு பதிலாக பல பேருடன் கேட்கும் பொழுது 10 விதமான எண்ணங்களும் கருத்துக்களும் உனக்கு வரும். அதை நீ கலந்து ஆலோசித்து இறுதியாக நீ முடிவெடுத்துக் கொள்ளலாம். இதுதான் இந்த பேராகிராஃபினுடைய அறிமுக உரை. அடுத்ததாக here is a hypothetical example. hypothetical என்றால் என்ன? ஒரே ஊகித்து பார்க்கக்கூடிய ஒரு உதாரணம். ஊகித்தல். hypothetical என்றால் ஊகித்தல். சும்மா கற்பனை பண்ணி பார். உதாரணமாக imagine you have a large sum of money to invest. ஒரு 10 கோடி ரூபாய் உனக்கு கொடுத்து விடுகிறார்கள் ஏதோ ஒன்றிலே கொள்முதல் செய்வதற்காக. இல்லை 10 கோடி ரூபாய் உனக்கு கிடைத்து விட்டது. would you trust your own judgment entirely investing it? அந்த 10 கோடி ரூபாயை வைத்து உன் மனதில் என்ன தோன்றுகிறதோ அதற்கு தகுந்தபடி அந்த பணத்தை செலவழிப்பாயா, கொள்முதல் செய்வாயா? ப்ராபப்ளி அநேகமாக you would not. நீ செய்ய மாட்டாய். என்ன செய்வாய்? instead you would seek advice from a professional financial advisor. வியாபாரத்திலே வெற்றி அடைந்தவர், தொழில்நுட்பம் அறிந்தவர்கள், பண விஷயத்தை நன்கு அறிந்தவர்கள், அவர்களிடம் நீ சென்று கேட்பாய். இந்த பணத்தை எப்படி கொள்முதல் பண்ணுவது, எங்கே கொள்முதல் பண்ணுவது, நிலத்திலா, நகையிலா, அல்லது பங்குகளிலா, அல்லது வியாபாரத்திலா, or perhaps several such advisors. பல பேர்த்திட கேட்பாய். and even a lawyer, வக்கீலிடம் கூட கேட்பாய். இந்த பணத்தை கொள்முதல் செய்து விட்டால் பின்னாடி ஏதாவது பிரச்சனைகள் வருமா சட்ட ரீதியாக, இல்லை எனக்கு சாவுக்கு பிறகு யாருக்கு செல்ல வேண்டும், திரும்பி பணம் பெற முடியுமா, வக்கீலையும் நீ கலந்து ஆலோசிப்பாய். ஸோ சம் டெசிஷன். அடுத்த பேராகிராஃபில் பற்றியிலே சில முடிவுகள் மே ரிக்வயர்ட் இன்புட் ஃப்ரம் மெனி சோர்சஸ். சில முடிவுகள் எடுக்கும் பொழுது பல இடங்களிலிருந்து கருத்துக்களை கேட்க வேண்டியதாக இருக்கிறது. a person contemplating என்றால் நினைக்கிறார், மனதிலே நினைத்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார். whether or not to undergo, செய்யலாமா கூடாதா. hazardous என்றால் என்ன? ரொம்ப ஆபத்தான ஒரு சர்ஜரி என்றால் அறுவை சிகிச்சை. for a life threatening condition, உயிரே போகக்கூடிய ஒரு அறுவை சிகிச்சை செய்யக்கூடிய ஒரு ஆபத்தான நோய்க்கு அறுவை சிகிச்சை செய்ய வேண்டும் என்று ஒரு மருத்துவர் சொல்லுகிறார். will need to consult. அவர் என்ன பண்ணுவார்? அவருடைய குடும்பத்தார் அனைவரையும் உட்கார வைத்து சொல்லுவார், இந்த மாதிரி பிரச்சனை இருக்கிறது. டாக்டர்ஸ், மற்றைய டாக்டர்களை சென்று மருத்துவரிடம் சென்று இந்த மாதிரி நோய் இருக்கிறது என்று சொல்கிறார்கள், உண்மையிலேயே இருக்கிறதா என்று 2க்கு 4ஆக மருத்துவர்களை பார்ப்பார். அண்ட் ஈவன் ஏ லாயர், ஒரு வக்கீலையும் பார்ப்பார். தனக்கு ஏதாவது ஆகிவிட்டால் பின்னாடி பிரச்சனைகள் சொத்து என்ன ஆகிவிடும் என்று. பிகாஸ் த டிசிஷன் மே பி லிட்ரலி a matter of life and death. ஏனென்றால் இவர் எடுக்கக்கூடிய முடிவே வாழ்வா சாவா என்ற முடிவு. அறுவை சிகிச்சை மூலமாக உயிர் பெற்றுக்கொள்வாய், அறுவை சிகிச்சை மூலமாக சாகக்கூடிய வாய்ப்பும் இருக்கிறது. ஹார்ட் டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்ட் என்று பலது இருக்கிறது. ஸோ அடுத்த இறுதியான பேராகிராஃப் முடிவுரையிலே this doesn't mean that all the advice one receives should or even can be followed. இதற்காக மற்றவர்கள் சொல்வதையெல்லாம் ஏற்றுக்கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்ற அவசியம் இல்லை. சம் அட்வைஸ் கேன் பி ரிஜெக்டட். சில அறிவுரைகளை நீ ஒதுக்கி விடலாம். அட் ஒன்ஸ் ஆஸ் இம்ப்ராக்டிக்கல், அது நடைமுறைக்கு சாத்தியமில்லை என்று ஒதுக்கி விடலாம். இஃப் ஒன் இஸ் அட்வைஸ் டு இன்வெஸ்ட் இன் டைமண்ட் மைன்ஸ் ஆன் த மூன். டைமண்ட் என்றால் வைரம், மைன்ஸ் என்றால் என்ன? சுரங்கங்கள். மூன்னா நிலவே. ஒருவர் சொல்கிறார், இன்னும் 20 ஆண்டு காலத்திலே நிலவுக்கு சென்று மனிதன் வியாபாரம் செய்வான். ஸோ நிலவிலே நாம் வைரங்கள் இருக்கிறது, வைர சுரங்கத்துக்கு கொள்முதல் பண்ணுங்கள் என்று சொன்னால் நீங்கள் என்ன செய்வீர்கள்? 10 கோடி ரூபாய் இருக்கிறது, நீங்கள் ஒரே அடியாக என்ன செய்வீர்கள்? இட் இஸ் சேஃப் டு இக்னோர் தேட். அதை ஒதுக்கி தள்ளிவிடு. ரெக்கமெண்டேஷன், அந்த அவர் சொல்லக்கூடிய சிபாரிசுகளை, சொல்லக்கூடிய விஷயங்களை ஒதுக்கி தள்ளிவிடலாம். ஆஸ் எ ரூல், however, the more advice the better. அப்போ தத்துவ ரீதியாக சொல்ல வேண்டும் என்றால் அறிவுரைகள் நிறைய கிடைக்கும் பொழுது அது நல்லது தான். பல பேரிடம் கருத்து கேட்பதே நல்லது தான். பல பேரிடம் கலந்து ஆலோசிப்பது நல்லது தான். துறைகளிலே வல்லவர்களாக இருக்கக்கூடியவர்களிடம் கலந்து ஆலோசித்து நல்ல ஒரு முடிவை, நல்ல ஒரு தீர்ப்பை நாம் எடுத்துக்கொள்ளலாம். ஸோ நண்பர்களே, இதை போன்று வரக்கூடிய கட்டுரைகளிலும் நீங்கள் மேன்மைப்படுத்திக் கொள்ளுங்கள் உங்கள் ஆங்கில பேச்சு திறமையையும் எழுத்து பயிற்சியையும். தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச்.